action. Hello you wonderful people. Yesterday I started to put together the Retro Train Booknook by Kaayee, and honestly this one turned out better than I expected. It's got that classic vintage railway feel, warm lighting, lots of interior detail. It's like stepping back in time. So in this video we'll see what's in the box first, and now this video is going to be a few in length, so I do apologise. So let's just crack on with that build. Okay, so this is the box as it's presented. It's got a cellophane wrap on it that I've taken off, and then we'll see what the contents are. So first off is the old battery box that's been wired up with 2 cables. And there's all your boards that are cellophane wrapped. You've got a couple of tools in there, the manual. Unfortunately the manual doesn't come with a PDF or a QR code to scan to get the PDF, so that's a bit of a downer, but not the end of the world. So yeah, the instructions are fairly clear. Would be nice if they were in colour, but we can't ask for everything, can we? These things take a lot longer than you would think. So yeah, this video is fairly edited to cut out the working out how to put things together and all the shenanigans that went into putting the parts together. So that's all your boards. And the boards, once we get to them, are a lot thinner than the other kits I've put together. This is another hammer that I've got now, so that's 2. So yeah, that's the motor that runs the scenery, which would be an interesting addition. I've never used a motor on one of these Booknook kits before. Like I said, that's the battery box, and it's 3 AAA's by the look of it. And the nice thing about this battery box is the lid is hinged, so you don't take it off, you just clip it back into place. So in this goodie bag, let's have a look. Get some plastic tweezers there. Yeah, they're okay. Haven't used them as of yet, so I can't complain too much. A little screwdriver, very nice too. Not the best quality, but it's a screwdriver nonetheless that we'll use later on the build. Some rubber bands, they're not normal rubber bands. That clear acetate, some sanding paper, some LED strips and some LEDs, and a touch sensor that we're all going to have to put together, and a couple of other bits and bobs. That's some wax for lubrication of the gears. And some strips. I don't know what they are yet. I'm sure it'll become apparent as the build goes on. And you get a load of little screws just there. So what I'd advise you to do is magnetise your screwdriver if you can. And that's me just magnetising it up. Just twist it and pull it through a few times, and then you can pick up all your screws. So here are all your different wooden boards, and they're labelled up with letters of the alphabet. A couple of parts have fallen out already. Right, straight onto the build. So we need these parts here, and these woven wooden parts you have to clip in and bend round. Just sanding it off there. A little bit excess wood. So yeah, these are really delicate, and they don't really want to bend that much, but you have to carefully manipulate them and fit them into the pegs or the peg holes. This took a long time. I think I've cut most of it out, to be honest with you. So yeah, you can see it's like tearing the wooden structure. So I had to fix some of these with super glue. And then you put the boards in, and they just slot into the holes. And you've got to make 4 of those little chairs. So that's me working super fast, super speedy. So once you've finished those 4 seats, it's time to work on the platform that fits underneath them. And again, that's just putting planks into a shaped piece of wood. And you've got to get them in the right order. There are 2 outers and 3 inners. So you get all those popped in. So once you've got the one side in, you have to connect it to the other side without snapping anything. Easier said than done. So yeah, that's that one complete. You've got to make 2 of these, and then you've got the end pieces, and you've got 2 different sizes for each end. You've got the larger and the smaller size. The larger goes against the wooden plates, and the smaller size goes in the opposite direction. Then you've got to fit these rings on, and you've got 2 types of rings that fit onto this like lever. Again, very fiddly. That's why I've got them special glasses on. That's how small the pieces are. That's with the 2 rings added on. And then you attach these to that base plate. And there are different ends to these. So one end has the lever on, and that's the same on both sets of under platforms. And that just holds in with a restraining clip once you get that into position. You have to get it pushed all the way through, otherwise it's not going to clip. So yeah, once you've done both of those bottom platforms, it's a case of joining the two sets of chairs together, and that plank clips into the base unit as well, so it slides into that side, and you want that flush with the end. The other one slides on as well. Because this the boards are very thin, you have to be very careful, otherwise you're going to break things, so everything takes a little bit longer to put together. But perseverance is your key, just keep going at it. And once clipped in, it will look like that. Very nice too. And the base board swivels as well, so that's both sets done. Don't they look nice? This probably took about 2 hours to do, maybe 3. Next we're working on the luggage racks, and again similar sort of assembly process. Stick the boards in, add the end on without breaking anything, and have them all in the same orientation. So you need to do 4 of them. So that's two done, and they connect with 3 types of connector. You've got a rod, well this bit clips on the, there's 2 of these clips, sorry. So I decided to go with the sticking the rod through the back, I think. Yeah. So once completed, you just repeat the process, but that's what one of them looks like, and you have to make the other one exactly the same way. There it is, the one completed. And by the magic of editing, there's 2. Again, a little bit fiddly, but they look nice once completed. So yeah, there they are in their full glory. Next, this piece was a nightmare. So this is the chandelier, and you make up a box like that with 2 round parts, and then you clip these really thin bits of wood onto it with 2 pegs on each part, and of course I broke a couple of the parts because they're just so thin. So I don't know if I would recommend this kit to a novice or anybody that's not built one before, because the frustration level is quite high when you start breaking things as you're putting them together. But ultimately the finished, what it looks like, result is really good. So persevere. You see all the broken bits around there I had to glue together. There you go. But once you complete it, it will look like that. Beautiful. all put back together. So you... I was going to super glue this part on, but I thought, nah, I'll use the tacky glue instead. Because you got, once you super glue something, you can't really move it. With tacky glue, you've got a little bit of more of a time to maneuver things if you need to. And you've got to get an LED through that hole, well, through the cable through the hole, and part of the LED, the black part, through that hole. So a bit of manipulation. So yeah, the cable's going to go all the way through to the top. And you've got to force that LED in slightly. So yeah, once completed, looks like that with the LED at the bottom. And the cable's coming out of the top. What a beauty. A delicate beauty, but a beauty nonetheless. So these are the parts that we've built so far. They will look really nice. There you go, a nice little close-up. All the parts. And that's probably about 3 to 4 hours work to get to this stage. Crazy. Always takes a little bit longer when you're filming. Right, we're moving on now to the table. Again, another little tricky part. So you've got to put these little blocks in. They just got clips on each end, and they go in at an angle onto that part. Then you put the crisscross part on, and then you join the two halves together to make the base of the table. And that took probably a good 40 minutes to get to that stage. Oh dear. How ridiculous. And then you've got to do the same for the top half. So that's the bottom half we've already built. And then onto the top half. So this is used as a little ring in the middle, and that crisscross part there, they just interlock. So now we're just putting some more of these little blocks in at an angle, and then they fit, those two circles fit together eventually. Again, this took forever with that part as well. It's just getting them matched up, and you want to do it without breaking any of the tabs, which I succeeded with, which I'm proud of myself for doing. But yeah, it took forever. And that's that part completed. That just fits in there like that. That's just quite loose actually. But it enables the table to spin once you've done that. You don't have to need to, or whatever. We haven't got to that stage. So once you've got there, those two parts are joined together. Then we're adding these other planks that all go around the outside, which extends the table. And I found these 1, 2, 3 blocks quite handy just to hold it to a certain degree in position. And then you've just got to put the top on and align all those parts off and get the pegs through every single hole and line them all up to form the table without breaking anything. So just take your time and be patient. So yeah, that's that completed. And then you've got to just fit on the top circle of the table onto that crisscross. Now once you've fitted it on top, you see it's got that free movement, like a spinny wheel. And that's that part completed. Then it's a case of decorating it with, looks like a smoking pipe and some other bits, some playing cards, a stopwatch. I don't even know what that is, but that just clips into place, and the little wobble backwards and forwards helps get that in. So yeah, the smoking cigar, or the smoking pipe, goes in the next hole. And that's what that looks like. Then you have to glue in the remaining 3 parts. The first one is the star that goes across the middle. Just like that. And this tacky glue will dry clear, so don't worry about that. Next is the old playing cards. And then next is the stopwatch. And it says you can glue these in any position you want, but I tried to follow pretty much where they had theirs in the instructions, and that's what that looks like. Very nice too, look at that. Very professional. Right, moving swiftly forward. We're going to work on the old grandfather clock. Now, you have to be careful with these pieces, these side pieces, because there is a slight orientation to them and it doesn't tell you which way it goes, and I thought they were both equal. When I put it together initially, it didn't quite fit together, there was gaps. So yeah, that part at the top of the frame and the one that's on there already, just make sure they're facing in the correct direction. So once you've got that box completed with the clock at the front, that's what it should look like, and that's underneath. So the next stage is getting these top planks assembled with the decorative parts at each end. And again, just take your time on this and it will come together good. So those two go opposing sides, and then you just join the two flat planes together, decorative parts, And then once completed, it will look like that. And that will eventually sit on top of the clock just like that. But we've still got another part to add to it yet. And that's one of these finely cut pieces. And this is tricky. So again, take your time. So you get it in the one place and then manipulate it over to form a bridge. You've got 2 clips in the middle and 2 clips on the outside on each end. Be very careful you don't break it either, that part, so just take your time. And once completed, should look something like that. So now we need to attach it to the top of the clock. This is me trying to work out what the orientation is. So that just clips into place. So the next part is these 2 really thin pieces of wood with the clock pendulum that fits in between. This is very delicate. And that just snaps into place. And that should look like that. Then you're adding these outer struts, and it says to make sure the orientation is correct. So yeah, I'll set these up ready to just push fit together. And these fit on all the edges of the grandfather clock. So once you've got those completed, we move on to adding the pendulum part to these backing boards, and you've got to try and get it in to the holes without snapping any of it. I would say it's pretty much impossible, unless the holes were bigger and it didn't snap into place. You could just glue it into place. But there, these bits broke, unfortunately, but I did fix them with glue later on. But again, just be gentle, take your time. Does need a little bit of force, but so once you've got those together, it's the face plates need to go on, and they just clip into place. You've got the front and back, and just make sure they're both facing with the print in the same direction on the front and the back. Not that you'll probably see the back, but so yeah, once you've done that, that should look like that, and then you add the corner pieces to all those holes that are existing on the outside, and they just snap into place. A little bit of brute force, but yeah, that's the one in. and I won't bore you with putting the other 3 in. So once you've got all the 4 ends on, that's what that looks like. Very nice too. So now it's onto the base part of the grandfather clock. So yeah, that 1 square part fits into all of those 4 parts. To form the base. And that's what that will look like once you've got that completed. Then you put the roof part onto it. That just clips into place. That's what that looks like once completed. So we need to assemble everything. So the main clock fits onto the pendulum part and clips into place. And be careful you don't damage all the work you've done up to this stage to get the clock ready. And after a bit of manipulation, it fits together. Beautiful. I'm glad it's double printed so it doesn't matter which way round it goes. And that's now on to the base. Adding the clock to the base. Strange thing to have in a train carriage, to be honest with you, as a grandfather clock, but there you are. It does look nice. And that's that completed. Give you a quick tour around of all the sides and the top. Beautiful. So these are all the parts we've created. And it took a long while to get to this stage, but I think you'll agree they do look very nice once completed. The detail and the printing on the boards is very good. Just they're a little bit thin. But yeah, I'm pleased with the results so far. So if you love Booknooks or anything retro, this one's definitely worth a go. I'll drop the link below if you want to check it out. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe for more cozy builds like this one. And I'll catch you on the next one.